What's up guys, it's me Jake here, and today I'm going to be doing a video about light novels. Now, you know me, I don't usually make much light novel content. Yes, I am a pretty avid light novel reader, but I usually try to steer towards the manga and anime content, but today, I decided, it's finally the day, to suggest light novels for beginners into this light novel world, and how to really get sucked into great light novels, and how to find your light novel kind of preference. So I'm deciding to pick like 3 to 4 light novels today in this video that I think will be really good for a starter in light novels and something that I think a lot of people can enjoy. And I feel like that these are some really good picks for your first ever light novel to read, or even series of light novels to read. So yeah, let's get straight into this video. Now, before I even get started, the reason I kind of want to make this video is because I started reading Monogatari. I'm currently like a little bit into the Kizu Monogatari light novel, and I'm enjoying it so far. I have not yet read too much. I'm only like midway through chapter 2. I think it's pretty good so far, so that's kind of what kind of pushed me to make this video. Even though I've read quite a few light novels, I just wanted to make it because of that. And I felt like I've read enough light novels to suggest some things at this point. So yeah, to start off this video about light novels, I'm going to talk about one of the ones that's one of the more acclaimed things over in the West when it comes to light novels, and probably one of the biggest ones out there. And I think this is actually the highest rated on Mal now. That's Classroom of the Elite. Now, I've already made a review on this, but I might make another one later down the line, because I only read light novel 1 during that point. I've read light novel 3 now. I'm just kind of, I have all the volumes other than I think 7 now. So I'm probably just going to start binging it again. I really did enjoy it. Basically, follow this kid named Aino Koji as he goes to a school that's prestigious as hell. It's one of the best schools out there, and if you graduate from the school, it's a 100% chance that you're going to actually make it in life. You'll make money. You'll make a lot of money at that, and there's a little bit of a twist when it comes to that you kind of notice during this volume, and it's really interesting to see all the twists and turns that these kind of students have to make in this school in order to get that graduation kind of 100%, and see how they really deal with the struggles of this really harsh environment of this really harsh school, and seeing why each student is placed in what class, and seeing what kind of twist this school brings upon us is really interesting. And seeing how Aino Koji, which is kind of like an emotionless protagonist, who's a very smart protagonist, he tries being average. He does not want to be anything seen as anyone outside of average. He just wants to be seen as that one guy who is not amazing at anything. So he gets like 50s on every single test he ever takes. Because he's smart enough to know that, oh yeah, this is wrong, this is right, so I'm just going to pick the wrong one so I get a 50 on this test. He is that smart, and he is such an interesting protagonist when it comes to that. I think he's probably one of my favorite protagonists when it comes to these kind of series, if not one of my favorite protagonists in general, because he and how he goes about things in this light novel series is very interesting, and seeing how he goes about these twists and how he deals with what the school really gives to him is really great. And I love Aino Koji because of that. He's one of the most interesting protagonists, so I definitely highly suggest Classroom of the Elite. It's probably the one I would say is the best suited for your first light novel. This was my first light novel. It really hooked me in there. I mean, some of the art even, because as you can tell, it's a light novel. There's like not much art, but there is some panels that actually have art. Now, I actually have to find one, but when it actually has art, it isn't bad art. It's actually pretty enjoyable art. I will admit, I do like it, but yeah, I think it's just an amazing light novel series, and I definitely suggest more people get into Classroom of the Elite because it's really good. It's really worth the read, and it's even very bingeable. I think I finished this one in a couple days, and then I had to wait to get volume 2, which took me a while, and I had to wait to get volume 3, then I waited to get volume 4 for a while, and I finally got volume 4, so I can actually continue to binge it, because I stopped a little bit like near the end of volume 3, but I currently just finished volume 3 like a week ago, so I might start reading volume 4 very soon, because I really love Classroom of the Elite, and I definitely highly suggest it. Now I'm going to go on to the next one, because I've talked about Classroom of the Elite for about like 3 minutes now, is what my camera's saying, so I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm going to go on to the next one. Next up is probably going to be my favorite light novel, unless Monogatari really tops this, but it's really good so far. I'm on light novel 2, and I can just see how it goes. I've already watched the anime till season 2, as my youth romantic comedy is wrong as I expected, or Gairu. Now, if you don't know anything about Gairu, then a little bit of a synopsis will be, Hachiman is kind of a narcissistic person who thinks the joyful youth is kind of a farce until he is forced to join a club, which he joins a club, and I think the girl's name is Yukiko, and she's like an ice queen, she's beautiful, and he is led to actually having to help all these students around, because that's the club he joins, like the helping hand or something like that. And he has to help these students' problems, and you kind of see how his kind of view on society kind of changes and how it affects him, because he thinks that it really is just a hindrance. Like, he thinks society is so weird, and he hates society. It's one of the worst things to him, and he thinks the Joyful Youth is just super farce. He thinks that it's completely fake, and he's a very narcissistic person, but that's what makes it great, is seeing how Hachiman really deals with this, because he is an amazing protagonist. Like I know Koji, like I said earlier, amazing protagonist. I really love Hachiman. He's probably, in my opinion, as good as I know Koji, even though they take very different stances. As I know Koji is a genius who just wants to be seen as average, Hachiman is a guy who just is narcissistic and thinks that Joyful Youth is a farce, and that how society is dealt with is really just bad. And that's why I think that it's great. I really, really love Origairu. And as I saw right here, it's not the Helping Hand, it's the Service Club. Sorry about that. I messed that up. I must say I mixed up with some other thing I've read before. But very much enjoy Origairu. And if you're into more harem-y kind of romancy light novels, here it is. I mean, the other one's more of a psychological, I should have probably said it. The other one, Classroom Elite, is definitely more of a psychological psychological light novel. While this one is more of a romance-centered light novel, and also kind of psychological at that, but I think this is way more romance-heavy, and I definitely think this is great if you're into that. I think this is an amazing light novel, and I think there's also a manga, but I think the manga's not that great. The anime is a pretty good adaptation from what I've heard, so I definitely suggest Origairu if you have yet to read it, and even if you watch it other than Classroom Elite, do not watch that. It's pretty doggy. I mean, they take a lot of scenes out in those 12 episodes, I will admit, and it's kind of sad to say, but yeah, on to the next one. Now, this next one, I know what you guys are going to say. How am I going to be recommending light novels without an isekai? And yes, I will admit, I've read some isekai light novels. I've actually read 3 so far. I've only read the first light novel for most of them, but this one has got me hooked. This one, I'm on volume 5 right now, and I don't know if I should call them volumes or book 5. I don't really know, but I love this one. Basically, it is Infinite Dendrogram. Now, I know there's an anime, but I don't think the anime is that great, and the art for the manga is kind of abysmal, I'll admit, compared to the light novel, because the light novel art, as you can tell, is beautiful. I know it's not shown too often because it's a light novel, there's more words, but the art for the series is great. And basically, the series is about this kid named Reiji. I think that's how you say it, is Reiji. And he joins a game called Infinite Dendrogram, which is kind of like SAO in the fact that it's a full dive VR MMO. And it actually helps with all the 5 senses. You can actually like see, feel, touch, taste, and smell. You can do all of that in this game. But it's 2 years after the game starts. And we see how Reiji has to deal with this game and how he goes about playing this game. And I think it's great to see that. He's not stuck in this game. He can do whatever he wants so far. And I love it. It's an amazing one. It's not like if you die in the game, you die in real life. It's great. I think this is one of the best isekai light novels out there, in my opinion. There's definitely a couple good ones. I've read this, How Not Summon Demon Lord. This is definitely way better than How Not Summon Demon Lord. And Skeleton Knight in Another World. I like Skeleton Knight in Another World, but Infinite Dendrogram got my money, man. This is such a good series, and if you don't know, I always praise JV Novel Club for their quality of books. Their light novels are always amazing. Yes, the pages are somewhat see-through, but bro, these light novels are amazing, and even the art's amazing as well. I'm gonna try to find some more pages, because as you can tell, it's not easy to find much art in these, because there's not much art, but they're also kind of heavier than you would expect. These kind of volumes for JV Novel Club, they look light because they're like super thin and short, because like that's compared to a normal Viz size. It's a little bit shorter. I think it's a little bit, yeah, just same width, like this way, but it's a little shorter, but it's way heavier. Like it's like feels like 2 volumes, but just because that this probably has like 300 pages in it or around that. Yeah, this has 284 pages. 284 pages in this little book. and I think it's great. I definitely suggest Infinite Dendrogram to any of those isekai lovers out there. It's definitely probably not for every single person. If you don't like isekai or fantasy, you probably won't like this, but yeah, I think it's great. I definitely do suggest Infinite Dendrogram to isekai lovers. So yeah. Now for the last one, if you know me, I have nothing to say about this. Read Danmachi. Now, that should be it for this video. Now, I don't usually make light novel content, but I decided today would be a perfect kind of day because I'm reading a light novel, and also I've read quite a few light novels, so I decided that since a lot more people are trying to get into manga, a lot more people are trying to probably get into light novels as well. So I've read quite a few light novels, and I know how hard it can be to try to find a light novel to start off with. So I decided to make a couple suggestions to you guys to see if you guys like any of these suggestions. And even if you guys want to get into light novels, and these are the light novels you get into from, because these are all some really good light novels, and I definitely would suggest reading them. I'm yet to finish the Monogatari series. I'm still through Kizu, which is the first volume, from what the box set 1 says. The box set 1 says I should read Kizu first, so I'm reading Kizu Monogatari first. So yeah, that's how that's going. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope I see you guys next time. Peace!